Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the February edition of the Vicksburg Planning Commission meeting. Time is 7:01, and I will call this meeting to order. Secretary Cox, will you please take attendance?
Member Weil. Present. Member Blankenhorn.
Here.
Member Kissinger.
Here.
Member Bailey. Here. I know. Member DeVault.
Here.
Chairman Schenkel.
Present.
And Member Cox is present.
Great, thank you. Before we move on to approval of agenda, I do have an amendment to this evening's agenda. After approval of agenda and before citizen comments, we are going to swear in our new Planning Commission member. So with that amendment, I will call for a motion to approve this evening's agenda.
Member Cox, I so motion.
Motion from Cox. Do we have support for that motion?
Support from Kissinger.
Thank you. Support from Kissinger. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. And Clerk Wines, will you please do the swearing in of our new Planning Commission member? Thank you.
If you could please stand up and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of this state, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of Planning Commission and DDA board member in and for the Village of Vicksburg, County Kalamazoo, and State of Michigan, according to the best of my ability. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome. All right. Our next item on our agenda this evening is citizen comments. We do have quite the crowd here tonight, so I want to say welcome. If you are here for the rezoning proposal, there will be a section in that time for citizen comments that is separate from this. This is kind of more of the general citizen comments. So if you're here specifically for that, you can save your comments for that time. Okay? I'm going to open it up, and if anyone would like to step up and make any general comments about our Planning Commission meeting tonight, you're welcome to do that. I do want to preface it by saying if you do come up, you do need to state your name and your address, and you are limited to 4 minutes, which we will have a clock on and give you that kind of notification once you're up. All right? I'll give 5 seconds for anyone to move in that direction. All right, I think that was 5. So we'll move on to approval of minutes from our January meeting. And so I trust everyone has had time to review those meeting minutes from January, and I will call for a motion to approve those meeting minutes from that meeting last month.
This is Member Blankenhorn. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 12th.
We have a motion from Blankenhorn. Do we have support for that motion?
Support from Weil.
Weil supported. Any further discussion from the Planning Commission? All right, hearing none. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you. Planning Commission items, and we have a public hearing and discussion for the proposed rezoning of address 202 East Highway, and Village Manager Mallory is going to take it from here.
Yes, first, we're going to need a motion and support, and I believe roll call vote to go into public hearing. And if the clerk can make sure it's a roll call.
Okay. So I will call for a motion to enter into a public hearing for the discussion of proposed rezoning 202 East Highway.
Member Blankenhorn, I make a motion.
Motion from Blankenhorn. Do we have support for that motion?
Support by Kissinger.
Support from Kissinger. Any further conversation before we do a roll call vote? Secretary Cox, will you please take a roll call vote?
Member Turner. Yes or no?
Don't lead with her.
Oh, remember that next time. Member Weil,
Yes.
Member Blankenhorn,
Yes.
Member Kissinger.
Yes.
Member Bailey. Yes. Member DeBolt.
Yes.
Chairman Schenkel.
Yes.
And Member Cox is yes.
All right. Village Manager Mallory.
Yeah, within the hearing, we will, believe applicant is here to speak. And then I'll make some further comments. Then we have an opportunity for citizens' comments. And then I will present more and provide staff's recommendation and advice to this board. And then we'll move to close the public hearing and then to come out and through that conversation, if you do choose to make a motion and have a decision on this. But the village received an application from Walter Dimmick Petroleum, who's the owner-operator of the Shell gas station in Johnny's Market at 601 South Richardson Street, seeking to rezone the property at 202 East Highway Street from R2, single-family residential, to C2, commercial, in order to facilitate the redevelopment of 601 South Richardson Street. The parcel is outlined, has been provided to the Planning Commission with all the pertinent information. We did task McKenna and Associates, led by Kyle Mucha, to put this together, and Kyle is in the room, and Kyle will join me in a bit to discuss in more detail this proposal in front of the Planning Commission. And the rezoning request came in order to invest in that subject site as it relates to new fuel pumps and a new market building. The layout of the fuel pumps and new structure would be analyzed separately during a site plan review if the rezoning is approved. So tonight's conversation is not focused on a site plan. It's not focused on a site plan review, as it's not part of the governmental decision-making tonight. Tonight, what is in front of the Planning Commission is rezoning from R2 to the commercial request. If it is approved by the Planning Commission, a full site plan review then will come back to this body through the normal process that the majority of you have participated in other locations before. But again, the site plan, so you might have a question, how's the layout of this going to be? That would come in the site plan presentation if we get there, okay? And we'll get into more of the historical designations of that area of the village here in a minute, but I would like to ask the owner's rep to come up, and if you have a presentation or comments, be happy to listen to those.
Thank you. All right, first I'll share. I don't, but. All right, good evening. Thank you for hearing us and allowing me to come tonight and speak with you guys. I'm Nick Zucchi. I'm the facilities manager at Walters Dimmick and Johnny's Markets. Village Manager Mallory, thank you very much for the good description on what our project is and what we hope to encompass with this. So our plan would be to purchase the property at 202 East Highway, which the purchase of that would be indicative of the rezoning. Obviously, if the zoning doesn't go through, that sale falls through. So that's the reason that we're here. I guess as a precursor, why are we doing this? Obviously, everybody here in town is familiar with the property, and we feel we can give a much better presentation, which we've done at other locations as well. In our recent rebuilds, we've done one in New Buffalo this past year, one in Battle Creek the year before in Urbandale, and it'd be a very similar project to those. So we would essentially take and tear down the facility at our current property on Richardson, demolish the house at 202 East Highway as well, combine those into one parcel, and then build a new facility roughly between 5,000 and 5,500 square feet. It'd allow us to increase some of the offerings inside the store, increased hot food, increased beverage. One of the biggest things for us at this location is to make it a much easier and clearer defined ingress and egress. That site's at an intersection that becomes very, very muddied, and we've had accidents in the parking lot that we would love to avoid. So the drawing that I gave you tonight and that I sent in as well with the application, there's much clearer designed and clearer defined entrances and exits. I believe that's the third page on that site plan drawing. So obviously this is not site plan review, and we're completely under the understanding we will go under a full site plan review, but that's probably one of the other biggest parts to this is defining that. The other thing that it allows us to do is it does allow us to update our underground storage tanks and our fueling at that site. We're definitely not the oldest in our network, but it is something that we are very, very conscious of in the environmental aspect of it. If we can have an opportunity to remove some old equipment from the ground, that's something we try to do very diligently. So, yeah, so if there's any questions, I'm obviously here to open. And the last page that I did present to you, those are just a couple of the recent projects. So none of that's set in stone and, geared towards this project, but just a couple of examples of some things we've done in the past.
You'll have time if you have questions with the owner before we're done.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I would be my recommendation as we move through both public hearings tonight, that Village Clerk Wines has the advice of the village attorney, in that as the motions and support move forward, we have Village Clerk Wines handle that as we get into both public hearings. Okay.
Sorry, Jim, what was that he's handling?
Once we get into the additional motions and support, as we move forward, not only in this public hearing, but the next, it'd be my recommendation that we have the village clerk follow that procedure as he's received the advice from the attorney to make sure it's controlled by state legislation and then ultimately a village ordinance. So we'll go ahead and it has been followed, but he's got it down chapter and verse. So, again, the proposal in front of the Planning Commission this evening is that standalone. The request is to rezone 202 Highway Street to commercial. So and I'll ask Kyle, probably be easiest to come up as we go through this, is in 2010, in the majority of this board has been through, I would say, the last 24 to 30 months of significant improvements to the governmental structure of our ordinance, including going through the master plan process, and exposing some of the ways that it could have been done better historically in Vicksburg. And this section of the village certainly is one of those. We had multiple properties that were placed without the governmental zoning at the time, and we don't need to relive those. Those have all been corrected as we went through that process. And this specific parcel was identified along with others on East Highway Street in as far back as 2010 as a neighborhood commercial. Come on up here. We'll get along. With the thought of this expansion would be possible. From the written documentation we read, we obviously weren't here then. In the most updated master plan, the same idea on East Highway Street was developed, and a good example of that would be the buildings on Main Street, just north of, at the southwest corner of Washington in Main Street, where you have commercial on the first floor, residential on the second floor. And looking at the future, and that forecasting what formally goes out 5 years, it's easily extended to 10, and truly takes a 20 to 50 year view of the potential growth within the village and all the aspects of the input that was received, and different ways to maximize the current footprint of the village. So in that, we tasked Kyle and his team to put together the report that he'll review with you. He'll conclude that. I'll come back if, well, I think the next step is we'll have citizen comments. Then I will come back. If you have questions for staff, I'll go ahead and take those questions. If I can't answer them, I have leadership here who was involved in this, and I will seek clarification from one of those leadership members on my team, and move forward as we proceed there. So I'm going to turn over to Kyle. He'll present the report. We've provided the report to you that was within the packet. We'll move to citizen comments. I'll come back, and then I'll take questions that you might have, and then we'll proceed from there. I'll also at that time give you staff's advice and recommendation, and we'll move forward. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mallory. So I think as some of the commission is aware, and maybe others are not, our current zoning ordinance, which we will address at another portion of this meeting tonight, does not have established standards for rezoning. So we rely on the Michigan Association of Planning Standards, which starts on page 3 of your packet, to give us a guidance on how we should review this rezoning. So number 1 of those standards are, under current zoning, can the property be used and developed? It already is currently used, developed as a residential, so we find that this is satisfied because it is a use that is permitted in that existing zoning district. 2, consistency with the goals, policies, and future land use plan of the master plan. So on page 5 of our report, we do list out the master plan goals and objectives of our recent plan. Goal 1, development and planning, with a strategy to continue to grow the economic base by encouraging new housing construction, housing and building rehabilitation, business expansion, and industrial investment. We found that this proposal to rezone based on the intent by the applicant does align or does support that strategy of the goals and objectives. Goal number 2, commercial strategy. Ensure existing and future land uses at village entrances have attractive site, building designs that project a positive image. Based on renderings, again, conceptual only, that the applicant has provided, we did find that this was supportable because they are investing in that quote-unquote entryway of the village with a new facade, new building design. 3, capability of the site size and environmental conditions to accommodate uses. We note that the existing site at 601 South Richard Street is an approximately 0.73 acres or 31,800 square feet. The addition of the 202 East Highway, if rezoned, will allow for continued investment, as Mr. Mallory has indicated. 4, capability with the surrounding land uses. The existing land uses within the area are predominantly residential with localized commercial. And what we mean by this is there is a market and deli just down the road. There is other driving school, about a block down to the west. Commercial spaces at 108 West Highway Street in the vicinity. The fuel station and associated convenience retail operation have been in place since 1978. It may have been prior to that, but that's the records I'm able to locate at this time. So it has been around for a significant number of years. The applicant can further clarify, their investment in this property. 5, availability and capacity of public streets, utilities, and services. We find that this is already an existing use. We don't anticipate that if this is rezoned, public streets, utilities, and services would be negatively impacted. It's already on 2 major thoroughfares of the village itself. It's been in existence since '78, so 48 years going on. I would, further speak to the village engineer and Department of Public Works if there is any concern for public utilities and facilities. However, again, given that this has been in existing use for almost 50 years, we don't find that that would be negatively impacted. Demand for the use and appropriateness of the location. The applicant seeks to rezone the subject parcel to facilitate the construction of a new structure in which the retail operation would take place from. Referenced in earlier parts of our report, subject site is located along one of the main thoroughfares of the village, which also acts as a truck freight line for the area. The demand for the use is evidenced by the applicant's desire to reconstruct the operational building, originally constructed in '78, in order to meet the current and future needs of the region in terms of vehicle fill operations and convenience. 7, any other factors that may be pertinent to the request? Any factors that may be pertinent to the request may be reviewed after a public hearing is held regarding the rezoning request. So in essence, those are our standards that we reviewed for this proposal and our generalized findings with that. I know Mr. Mallory said he would address further questions or comments unless you would like me to. Okay. So that's where we're at.
All right. At this time, we will transition to citizen comments. And so I want to remind everyone that as you come up, please state your name, your address, and time is limited to 3 minutes for the public hearing section of the citizen comments. So who would like to start?
Hello, my name is Kelly Christensen. I live at 702 South Richardson Street, where we have lived for 23 years in the neighborhood of the Shell Station. Thank you for offering this time for public comment, and thank you for your work to manage the growth and development of this community. I'm a lifelong resident. My husband and I chose to raise our family here. I'm invested in this community in many ways. I volunteer for our local tree committee, I teach at the schools here, and I enjoy our village activities and frequent the local businesses. I am here tonight to ask this body to deny the rezoning request at 202 East Highway Street and the subsequent expansion of the Shell Station. In order to consider the rezoning request, I believe we also kind of have to consider the plan that is so far put forth. The proposed plan for the revamp of the Walter Dimick-owned property, enlarge the convenience store and add a driveway onto Kalamazoo Avenue that will add traffic to a small neighborhood with small streets. We already have an uptick of traffic in the morning and evening commutes, which, based on their speed and disregard for the four-way stop at Kalamazoo and Wayland Streets, are avoiding the traffic light at Highway and Richardson Streets. Adding a driveway from the Shell Station onto Kalamazoo Avenue will make this traffic worse. We do not have sidewalks, and the demographics of our neighborhood include children walking to and from the bus stop every day, along with other types of pedestrian activity. This new drive would be directly across from a residential driveway, which happens to be my grandfather's home. Having a commercial property exit or entrance across from a residential driveway is yet another safety concern. Walter Dimick's plan to enlarge the footprint of their property will add more lighting and more noise to this residential neighborhood than already comes from this property. The added traffic, lighting, and noise will not enhance our neighborhood and will not help the residential property values continue normal growth. I've read through a portion of your 2024 Comprehensive Master Plan, and on page 53 is a future land use map. The property at 202 East Highway is coded for possible future use as neighborhood commercial. On page 57, you outline what that means. It says, residential and office uses of low density, low-intensity retail uses, and institutional uses are appropriate. Automotive-oriented uses such as gas station, auto repair, or drive-through facilities are inappropriate. This plan was finalized in 2024 with future vision for our village. I assume a lot of time and effort was spent on this plan, and I urge you to follow it. To summarize, I am here to ask the Planning Commission to deny the request. So sorry. It's hard to say this because these are my neighbors and my friends. They're lovely to my grandfather. They're family. And I see their benefit. I understand why they are doing this. It's hard to ask the commission to deny them their financial gain, but I think as a big picture, at a whole, I don't believe this proposed zoning change benefits our village or our neighborhood. Thanks.
All right, that's 3 minutes. Thank you. Anyone else for citizen comments?
My name is Vicki Ackerman. I live at 114 West Maple Street in Vicksburg. I've been there for 50 years. I've been in the village my whole life. I am the 4th generation of 6 generations of Vicksburg families. I've raised my children here. I am a parapro at Sunset Lake Elementary School. I am committed to the quality of the village that I live in. And I am concerned that what I'm hearing tonight about the development on Highway Street does not support continued residences within the village limits. I'm wondering if the Planning Commission has considered, is it appropriate to ask a question? There was new housing mentioned in this plan going forward. I'm wondering where that new housing is going to be. I'm wondering about the quality of life for people who send their kids to Vicksburg Community, to the high school down the road, and come and go to events like the tennis court on the corner. And there's already difficulty with the traffic light there, getting in and out. If you give another entrance onto that road, you are going to exacerbate that traffic flow. I am desperately concerned that the goal of the village is to turn the entire village into a bigger city. And I am here asking you to consider that there is value in the village that we have already established. And I ask you to please reject this proposal.
You're welcome to come up as you're willing.
very nervous. I'm Annette Halsey. I've been in the village for over 50 years, and I live at 207 Whalen Street.
Can you state your name for us?
Well, I'd like to state it, Annette Tassel Halsey, because my husband and I, the first husband and I, owned Vicksburg Tire City, and this is the property that Demick has. And I made the mistake of selling it to him 50 years ago, I think. But like I want to say, once again, we're back here again. They're trying to pull fast when we feel. About 25 years ago, they tried to get a McDonald's in there. And they did it in the summertime, and we were able, my girlfriend and I was able to walk the village. We got this enough petition up that we got turned down. Well, in this weather, I couldn't walk the village because it's too cold for me. But I'm totally against it. And let me see, where am I at? I got down here already. I think, like the rest of them said, that it's going to create a lot of traffic problems. It's going to create a lot of problems with the school. I mentioned it at my church, and the kids said, yeah, they'd want an open lunch hour. Can you see the traffic of the kids coming back and forth for school, you know, to have open lunch hour? You know, and that was part of the problem we had last time. And then this is going to be right out my dining room window. And I know they said they'd put a fence up, but I've already got fence on the back part of my property, and I still get a lot of trash. And I get a lot of noise and everything else. So I would appreciate it if you'd turn it down. You want to tell them yours?
Yeah, that's my Faribault. My name is Jenna Gillespie. I live at 119 Wayland Street. Similar to Elaine, or Annette, the house that I live in, I've been in here for 5 years, but it's the house my grandparents owned for close to 50. It's the house my mom grew up in. My grandfather was a huge part of this community. I grew up watching everybody love him, and he was very, very involved. And our village and our neighborhood is so charming, and it's the perfect little corner area, and it's so peaceful. And I guess I just don't understand the need to expand a gas station when it will absolutely bog down our entire corner. My house is right next to Kelly's grandfather. I live right next to Chuck Ackerman. So this road would be directly across from my driveway. And I think having an entrance and a road to a business right across from a driveway is just asking for concerns, again, for people walk that road all the time, and they walk right down the road because there is no sidewalk. And so you're asking for traffic issues and safety concerns and just a complete overhaul of bogging down our corner and more traffic. And it's already so busy in that corner as it is, and expanding it. I understand that it was mentioned how there are accidents at the interstate, or in the intersection, but I think that you're gonna have that either way, because when you expand it, you're just gonna invite more people to come. And adding in food, like Annette said, people are gonna wanna come over there when we already have a deli right next to it. There already is a food spot right there across from the high school. So I'd also ask you to please deny this request, because I just think it will really diminish and depreciate our wonderful little neighborhood.
Don't
Thank
think
you.
it'll do much for Vicksburg.
Hi, my name's John Christensen. I live at 702 South Richardson Street. Going to be a little bit of a repeat, but here I go anyway. I've lived there for the past 23 plus years, raising both of my children in our neighborhood. For the most part, raising my children in our neighborhood was a great experience. One of the biggest challenges was the traffic that would cut through from Richardson Street, which is a 40-mile-per-hour road on the front of our house, onto Wayland Street on the north side of our house, through the optional stop sign to miss the light at the corner of Richardson and East Highway Street. Traffic also performs this maneuver in the opposite direction, and often at speeds well above the 25-mile-per-hour limit. The proposed change of the property located at 202 East Highway Street to commercial zoning to accommodate a larger footprint for the Shell gas station will only increase the traffic through our neighborhood, particularly with a driveway entering and exiting onto Kalamazoo Avenue, as proposed in the submitted site plan drawings. Furthermore, it will increase traffic on two very narrow streets, both with blind curves, where South Kalamazoo turns onto East Raymond Street and where South Main turns onto Wayland Street. My neighborhood, these streets have a new batch of young families with children. There are no sidewalks here, so parents push children in strollers in the streets. Older children ride bicycles in the streets, and we walk uptown to go to the restaurants and festivals in the streets. The current owners of the house, the Rays, are great people. They are great neighbors. I don't blame them for accepting an offer that pays them above market value for their home. The Shell station owned by Walters Dimmick Petroleum stands to gain in increased sales for their business with a massive increase in their store size. I also don't blame them for trying to do that. However, we, the remaining residents of the neighborhood, do not have the same benefits. We will likely see a decline in our property values, or at the very least, a reduced rate of appreciation. An increase in traffic on our residential streets, and increased light and noise from a vastly larger 24-hour-a-day Shell station footprint. Ultimately, accepting this proposal is a good deal for the Rays and a good deal for Walters Dimmick, but a bad deal for the rest of us in the residential neighborhood. The Village of Vicksburg Comprehensive Master Plan dated June of 2024 describes in detail what the future land use plan for each parcel in the village is expected to be. The property located at 202 East Highway Street is currently zoned as residential, while the future land use map on page 53 lists its planned future use code as neighborhood commercial. On page 57, there's a description of what neighborhood commercial is, and more importantly, what it is not. In part, the description states, automotive-oriented uses such as gas stations, auto repair, or drive-through facilities are inappropriate. Just over a year and a half ago, this planning commission, along with the village council, believed that the subject property should not be a gas station. Yet, we are here tonight discussing a proposed gas station on this property. I urge you, the planning commission, to follow your own long-term plan for this property and to deny this application for zoning change. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Kate Wonderland, and I live at 208 North Michigan Avenue, not in this neighborhood, but I've lived in Vicksburg for most of my life, and I love our little village. When deciding if you're going to allow this zoning change, I would like you to please consider this question. And the question I have is, will this add value to our village? Is this what we want our Vicksburg to look like? Small businesses make communities unique, and this could have a negative effect on them. Is a larger, non-local gas station store adding value to our village? Is losing another single family-owned home adding value to our village? We have already lost so many single family-owned homes in the past few years to rentals. Is losing another one going to add value to our village? I appreciate you considering what we've all said here tonight when you make your decision. I think we all want what is best for our village. This proposed project does not add value. It doesn't help small businesses, and it doesn't serve the greater good of our village. Thank you.
Any further comments at this time? Okay.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate all the comments that were made. And a clarification on vernacular, I guess, is the Planning Commission is tasked with the support or not support of the rezoning request. That ultimate decision resides with the council at their February 23rd meeting. But your tonight would be a motion support discussion on if you would approve and support or give the recommendation to the council to support and approve this request. Okay. The council in neither way is bound by your recommendation, but the ultimate decision on the rezoning rests with the council. We have the public hearing in front of the Planning Commission because we certainly want your input in this process as we move forward. Some key things to put in front of this governmental body. Remember that your recommendation to the village council needs to be based on finding of fact. May include the proposed rezoning is supported by the village master plan. Staff's advice to the Planning Commission is it is supported by the village master plan. The move, the classification of neighborhood commercial, we know is documented back to 2010, re-supported and emphasized in the 2024 documentation. The property has operated, the current property, I'm not talking 202, but the commercial property has operated as a gas station documented back to 1978. The operations involving the fuel pumps will remain on that parcel. All of that will be new into the newest and environmental requirements. That means underground tanks, pumps, and everything. It was mentioned multiple times, and as these type of situations often result in is the information that out to the public, and I know the source, the document that they're referring to, but I assure this board that the entry point of this facility will not be in the neighborhood off Kalamazoo Street. The entry-exit points will continue to be on Highway Street and Silver Street as they currently are. There will be a fence, and I believe it's 8 foot, much like we put up here at Village Hall, between that property and the residential properties. But the entrance by vehicular traffic will not come off Kalamazoo Avenue. The traffic counts and traffic studies done on Kalamazoo Avenue and, sorry, too many public hearings, on W or Highway Street and Silver Street are consistent, meaning the definitive amount of cars that go through that area are within a range that we as staff do not believe people are going to change their traffic patterns to get fuel or shop in the retail component of this facility. There will be the same amount, predictably, of cars in that traffic as well as foot traffic. Now, it'll be incumbent upon us, if this moves forward to approval, to look at, as we've been in conversations with a business across from the high school, to get better pedestrian identified walkways with the student traffic in that area. And it would be likewise in this operation as well. We know the infrastructure of the village, whether it's roads, water, or sewer, currently in place would support this facility. I have had the advantage, which the citizens have, of having multiple conversations with representatives of the company who identified other establishments that they operate in other communities, and all of the information we were able to glean, the company is an excellent community partner. If the recommendation is to rezone 202 Highway Street, and if the council ultimately approves that request, a thorough site plan would have to be submitted to our staff, engineered drawings, and those discussions taking place that would come back in front of this body with public input on these specifics beyond a sketch plan of what this proposal meets on the development in the area. So a lot of the comments were within the neighborhood, and I would tend to agree. It's just I have the information, the entry exit point isn't off Kalamazoo Avenue, isn't designed in any manner that would attract a vehicle to go through, whether it's Wayland, Kalamazoo, or any section of that part of the village to get into this facility. It will be designed that that entry exit is off Highway and Silver Street. Some comments were made, reference housing and the fact, and we did evaluate the structure of the residence. It was built in the 1890s. People talk about the growth of the village. It's something we're proud of. We're the largest growing municipality in the state of Michigan for about the 5th year in a row by percentage. This year, in the next 18 months, we'll have 135 residential homes built off 22nd Street. And in the last 6 years, that's over 400 residential homes with opportunities. Further supporting, most of those homes are on the market less than 10 days, so there's obvious attraction. I do have concerns on the number of rental units as well, as someone mentioned. It's another topic that this project certainly doesn't impact that side, but I am aware of and share those concerns. But as far as residential, single-family homes go, we are adding quite substantially to the village with those anticipated builds. There was comments reference speeding. I share those concerns, but those concerns aren't motivated by a gas station or a development. We face this on a daily basis in all municipalities. It's a business I come from. A year ago, or about 18 months ago, we placed speed signs in entryways to the village to try to draw attention, to get people to slow down. One of those locations identified by Chief Sanderson. There's 2 locations in the upcoming budget presentation. One is northbound traffic on Silver Street. As it enters the village, we'll have one of those signs that flash your speed, ask you to slow down, or thank you if you're going the speed limit. Don't hold me to it. I think the other one is on Wilson Street, connected to traffic along the high school. So we're certainly aware of that. We certainly have the ability, as we do probably 2 to 3 times a year, put a special attention for speeding on Highway Street because of the drastic reduction from 55 when you come into the village into 30. We also have entered conversations with the Road Commission to try to get extension of that to west of the Angels Crossing entrance. They control from the village limits westbound on W Avenue, but we're in conversations with them trying to demonstrate to slow traffic coming into the village down quicker than it currently is being done. The other comment that was made was the question of adding value to the village. And that, I would propose it from a holistic standpoint. I could run the numbers and tell you a derivative, the additional income the village would get. I would need to assign staff to that because that wasn't part of our evaluation process to stand in front of you if we were going to recommend it or not recommend it. We're not a team that looks at the bottom dollar, but more to the aspect of serving citizens. It's our belief that with the conversations we've had with the representatives of this company, with their actions in other communities, and their responses to being a community partner, with the ability of everything is completely updated as it relates to providing the fuel, environmentally, new tanks under the ground, new equipment above ground, and to get a state-of-the-art gas facility that will remain in the footprint that it currently resides, that the structure being placed on 202, the rezoning does go to full commercial, but does meet the intent of the conversation on the master plan, and that conversation was specific to the current commercial business that was there if it were to ever expand. We believe that we've addressed the citizens tonight, points they've presented. And this is really 35 years. I love it. I love when seeing this. I wish everyone comes to government meetings and engages the process, because that's what it's about. And staff will certainly respect whatever decision ultimately is made. Having said that, again, we believe the traffic pattern counts will remain consistent. This isn't where someone's going to be driving from 131 to get gas or come to Johnny's Market here at this corner and add traffic, just as it would be. It's more a transient business for those who are in that common traffic pattern. It is not going to have an entryway off of Kalamazoo or the neighborhood streets, and in no manner would we support any type of design that would draw additional traffic into those residential areas. As we go through the budget process, but I certainly, I'm confident we'll get council support, but within our CIP plan already is to add speed warning like we have at other gateways on Silver Street, and then one additional location in the village. And we will probably expand not only in front of the high school and Lou's Market, but look at that entire intersection to have the best design pedestrian safety crosswalks that we can. And then I would conclude with the formal site plan will work through staff and will eventually come back to the governmental body to approve or not approve prior to any building permits being issued. So having said that, it is the recommendation of staff that this does receive Planning Commission support, and the recommendation for the council to approve at their February 23rd meeting. But I'll be happy to answer any questions. We actually, I believe, at this time, we have a motion and support to come out of the public hearing first.
Follow-up comment or question?
No.
At this time, I'll call for a motion to end the public hearing for 202 East Highway.
I will say and encourage you, it will be February 23rd. You can. There'll be public comments, and I'll be happy to stay after as long as anyone wants to talk after. But within the formal meeting, there isn't. So I'll be happy to stay after as long as people want me to.
Member DeBalt, I make a motion that we close the public hearing.
We have a motion from member DeBalt. Do we have support for that motion? Support from Bailey. Any further comments? All right, member Secretary Cox, will you please take a roll call vote on this motion?
Yes. Member Bailey? Yes. Member DeBalt?
Yes.
Member Cox is a no. Member Schenkel?
We're just closing the public hearing.
Oh,
Can we have the clerk call the roll?
All right. Clerk Wines, will you call a roll call vote, please?
Board Member Weil,
Yes.
Board Member DeBalt. Yes. Board Member Kissinger,
Yes.
Board Member Bailey. Yes. Board Member Turner. Yes. Board Member Plankenhorn.
Yes.
Board Member Cox. No. Chairman Schenkel.
Yes. So at this time, we are going to have opportunity for Planning Commission members to make comments and ask questions of staff as well as the developer as we review the rezoning criteria. So I encourage Planning Commission members to reflect on what you've heard and ask questions of staff as you see fit.
If there's no questions, then if we can move to the action on the rezoning request and staff's recommendation for a motion support and approval.
Jim, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
I know these plans are not specific site plans that we are going to get. They might just be a draft for us. But just for clarification, you did talk about Kalamazoo Street not being an entrance.
It will not be.
It will not, okay.
I did not know that document
It's okay,
was
it's
going to
okay.
be put in front of you by the owner, but in discussions, I have assurances it's not going.
Thanks for that clarification.
It's not going to be that, just probably wasn't updated from a sketch plan.
Not a problem.
Well, our document that they gave us shows no entrance on that.
I assure with the word
I
to
believe you.
everyone in this room, it is not coming through that neighborhood. They know that. It'd be our recommendation to seek a motion, support, and again, our recommendation is for the Planning Commission to move this to the Village Council with your recommendation of support.
Are there any comments or questions from the Planning Commission for staff? Allow just a little bit more time to review documents. If you have any questions, please come forward with those. And again, this is not a site plan review meeting.
So where are we at, Kyle? We need a motion.
You are welcome to make a motion. Member Kissinger.
This is Member DeVault. I make a motion that we propose rezoning of 202 Highway Street from R2 to C2 for a recommendation be sent to the village for final approval.
A motion on the table from Member DeVault. Do we have support for that motion?
Support from Kissinger.
Support from Kissinger. Any further conversation before we do a roll call vote? Clerk Weil, or Wines, I'm sorry.
Board Member Kissinger,
Yes.
Board Member Bailey. Yes. Board Member DeBalt.
Yes.
Board Member Weil,
No.
Board Member Turner. Yes. Board Member Plankenhorn,
No.
Board Member Cox. No. Chairman Schenkel.
Yes. All right. I believe that is the last item for 202 East Highway. And our next agenda item this evening is public hearing for the updated zoning ordinance. And we have presentations by both village staff as well as Kyle Mucha with McKenna.
Yes, if we can have a motion, support, roll call vote to open the public hearing regarding the proposed revised Village of Vicksburg zoning ordinance.
Call for a motion to open the public hearing.
Member Wild, move to open the public hearing.
Motion from Wild. Do we have support for that motion?
Support from Blankenhorn.
Support from Blankenhorn. Any further discussion? Clerk Wines, will you take a roll call vote, please?
Board Member Plankenhorn.
Yes.
Board Member DeBall.
Yes.
Board Member Turner. Yes. Board Member Bailey. Yes. Board Member Weil.
Yes.
Board Member Kissinger.
Yes.
Board Member Cox.
Yes.
Chairman Schenkel.
Yes.
We'll reverse order this. On this, same thing. This is going to be a motion, support, roll call vote. If you recommend in the village council, as the planning commission is well aware, this has been 7 to 9 months of an endeavor as we proceed forward to try to get the zoning to align with itself and also be current. One parallel that is on the track as we sit is where you have Catherine Kaufman as the village attorney now reviewing the 179 or 81 page document to meet the legal standards of state legislation. That will be presented to the village council on the 23rd. So on the motion in support tonight, staff will be recommending that the planning commission supports and recommends this, moves forward to the village council with the caveat that the village attorney has given a full presentation of what needs to be added, and she's about 100 pages into it now with multiple legal changes on some legal vernacular that's being used. So with that, we'll turn it over to Kyle Mucha, who can speak more in depth. I would remind, this is related to a $42,000 grant that the village received to part of this update that will lead to the housing study that contract has been entered into 2 council meetings ago, with the anticipated completion being probably in October 2026. So I'll be back.
Thank you, Mr. Mallory. So as the commission is aware, we've been working on this for the past 6 to 8 months. Our team, since our last meeting, has gone back and made some revised revisions to the document based on our feedback. There were a few items, very minor, that we discovered through our last round of revisions internally that we would like to just get some clarification on to avoid any future headaches. One being, Christian, if you have the document open, I don't know if you do or not by chance. Page 19, if you could, sir. Under the C1 Village Commercial District, we do not have bar or tavern listed as a permitted use. We would like to get that corrected to probably either a special land use or permitted use with conditions, but we would like feedback from the commission. That is an item we should add, as they are existing uses in that area. So given the intensity or what's going on, we list brew pubs, microbreweries, and distilleries as a permitted use. We can slot in bars and taverns under that, but we would like to add in bars and taverns to the C1 and C2. That was a minor omission, and we wouldn't like any business owners to be excluded out of that. I would like to pause, Mr. Schenkel, if we could, just through the few comments I have on this, and just kind of take one at a time, so that way we're not losing anything in that regard. So that is one item. So like I said, we would take, then also add that to C2. if there's, I know we're going to do public hearing and probably further discussion, but I would depend on your guys. The other item we have on page 54, Mr. Wines, is under 5.02, access to streets. We have just a slight omission at the end where we list, under A, at the very end of it, access to a public street as required in provision A above. So we are going to strike that last little bit as required in provision A above, as that does not exist. Another item that our team discovered on page 65, we list clear corner visions at 25 feet, but our graphic shows 20, so we will get that amended to reflect 25 in both the text and the graphic. And that is on 65 as well as 79 on the page of this. And then the other item that we discovered as well during our last review, on page 95, we list references to the I-1 and I-2 industrial district. For planned unit development, we are recommending we just remove the references to I-1, I-2 and just list industrial instead. Attorney Coffin has provided some context. As Mr. Mallard has indicated, most of it in Chapter 1 is clerical in nature or removing sections that are not applicable to the village. Article 2, she has asked or opinioned if there is any concern with the provisions of minimum square footage for the PR district, which is the preservation. We have it listed and discussed with the commission in the past, minimum single story at 750. Attorney Coffin has inquired, does the commission like to keep that, or are you concerned with potential, we'll say manufactured housings in that square footage? Other items that she has listed as more just clerical in nature, such as using single-family residential compared to single unit. We discussed that, so we'll update our definitions to reflect single unit. But as Mr. Mallard has indicated, Attorney Coffin is going through this. Her comments that she provided today, I haven't seen anything that would flag our concern. They are just more the legal aspect of it. So, and then we, as this is a new ordinance, we are proposing new districts.
Before you move on, can you repeat what you just said?
Yep.
So Attorney, I missed the relevance there.
Attorney Kaufman has gone through the first few chapters of the ordinance. Her comments have not warranted my concern in the level of needing to bring this back to you for further workshop. They are more, I would say, clerical or clarification in nature that I feel confident we can get cleaned up between now and the next council meeting. So nothing that would warrant us being like, yes, let's bring that back to you for further discussion. We do need to address that at this time. As indicated and provided to you, there will be a new zoning map with this process. Our team has provided comparisons, because I know some of us are visual learners, of what the different districts would look like compared to the current zoning. One of the maps, unless Mr. Wines was able to print an updated zoning map. Did you get that comment today? If not, we did have a property at 600 or 601, 602 Spruce Street that is listed on the printouts as residential. That should be industrial, so that is an error on the printed maps, but it has been corrected since these were distributed and printed. So that is that's triangle on Spruce Street there on your maps. Like I said, because this is a new zoning update, we are proposing new definitions for districts, so we will need to adopt a zoning map with this process. And then we tried to provide you an analysis of what these districts would look like, what they're going from currently to proposed. We did that for each district itself on your map. All right. Thank you, Mr. Shank.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we will open it up for citizen comments on the zoning ordinance update. And so I'll welcome anyone that would like to make a comment on the zoning ordinance updates. All right, seeing no one move forward, I will call for a motion to close the public hearing for the updated zoning ordinances.
Member Cox, I so motion.
Motion from Cox. Do we have support for that motion? Support from Bailey. Any further discussion before we vote? Clerk Wines.
Is Kyle, are you available to talk about this one?
We're gonna get to,
Us next?
yeah.
Okay, sorry. I jumped ahead.
You ready, Kyle, or, Christian?
Board Member Bailey?
Yes.
Board Member Turner? Yes. Board Member DeBalt?
Yes.
Board Member Kissinger?
Yes.
Board Member Blankenhorn?
Yes.
Board Member Weil?
Yes.
Board Member Cox?
Yes.
Chairman Schenkel?
Yes. Now you may ask your questions.
Thank you. Kyle, thanks for this. We've gone through some marathons together, doing this rezoning. So I do appreciate your time and your efforts, your team's efforts on this. I do have a question off of 22nd. There are two little spots that, if we just flip to the old zoning, because I don't know addresses, I'm going to be honest.
What page are you on?
I'm on this.
Yeah, what page at the bottom right?
One.
Thank you.
There are two properties that were brown in the past, and I believe they are like, kind of like, they're just different than other neighborhoods. They're like condos. Would those still fit into the new version, which is like the light orange?
Yeah, so
Which is what it was, similar to the there's like three all on north of town. You see that?
yes, so the,
Yeah, where you see the villas go over that on the old map, that was brown, and that's like a farmhouse that has a lot of property, and then right across from it is where I'm talking, where there's condos there, and technically they're like multi-unit houses.
Yeah,
or do they not
are
fit
they
into that?
duplexes?
Yeah,
So then, under the R2 district, we do permit duplexes as a permitted use.
it's a permitted use. Okay.
So that would be permitted. If they're more than
If it was like an
duplexes,
apartment, that would fit into the.
then we'd want to look at modifying that, but yes.
Thanks for that
Our understanding is,
clarification.
yeah, those are two units.
I believe they're two. I don't know if there's triplexes, but they're at least duplexes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would fit under our current
Perfect.
proposal.
Thanks for the clarification.
Any further questions for staff or for Kyle? All right. What's being asked of us tonight regarding this is action on the proposed ordinance update is a recommendation for approval to be sent to the village council, very similar to the previous request. So,
Mr. Schenkel, with the addition of the attorney comments and items noted tonight? Thank you.
we may need your help in crafting that motion, Kyle. So,
Sure, and I'd work with
if
Mr. Wines on
anyone
this.
would like to-
It would look similar to recommending that the village council accept or adopt the proposed zoning ordinance updates and changes with the additions or corrections as discussed at tonight's meeting on February 9th, with the addition of any attorney comments as well, prior to the 23rd, as well as recommending adoption of the proposed zoning map. So I guess I would ask Mr. Schenkel, before you do vote on that, are we happy with the map? It is easier to change it now than to come back in a month and have to change it then. So I would just ask not to belabor this, but to make sure that you feel confident as a commission in the map.
Well, we've spent better part
I know
of a
yes.
year, I think,
Yes.
working on this. So, but, yeah, there's been a lot of effort by many on this, and so,
I've got one really quick. On the old, page one, the old zoning map, the brown strip off of Highway, that is like the Sawmill Creek Apartments, I think, on the south side of Highway, that is back to residential single-family R2. And that is an apartment building, right?
Yep. Thank you.
That should be the orange multi-use residential.
And that is an easy update for us to do.
Those are there, yeah. So like that's the same. Those are the corner there. That's just
Any further comments or questions?
And then Mr. Schenkel, just as a point of housekeeping too, our team will continue to work with Mr. Mallory and Mr. Wines on the formatting of the document. So while the content can be approved on the 23rd, we will continue to refine that, make sure all the margins align, all the sections are in line as well. And then we know that the village is updating the online website, so we'll make sure that we have the color scheme matches the new website as well. So, but that is formatting, that's not content change, so we can continue to do that after council approves.
Those branding recommendations go in front of the council February 23rd as well. So then hopefully within a month, the new website with all that is rolled out.
Help me say this, Kyle. I don't know how to say this.
The planning commission would recommend that the village council adopt the proposed zoning ordinance with the changes as described during the February 9th planning commission meeting, with the modifications to the zoning map as discussed, and then to incorporate the attorney comments provided as well.
So moved.
We have a motion from member Kissinger. Do we have support for that motion?
Support from Blankenhorn.
Support from Blankenhorn. Any further discussion before we do a roll call vote? Okay, clerk.
Wait,
Williams?
you have a public hearing.
I'm sorry?
You closed, sorry, did you close your public
We
hearing?
already did.
Perfect, that makes sure, crossing that off.
Board Member Plankenhorn,
Yes.
Board Member DeBall,
Yes.
Board Member Cox,
Yes.
Board Member Turner, Board Member Bailey, Board Member Weil,
Yes.
Board Member Kissinger,
Yes.
Chairman Schenkel.
Yes. All right, on to our next agenda item, which is our DDA agenda, and we have the Iceberg Fest.
Yeah, Saturday, February 28th will go 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. downtown. There's Mike Moore has led that effort. There will be family-filled activities throughout the day. Encourage people to be connected to the village's social media pages, as well as you have the opportunity to be on our email distribution list or our texting distribution list. So part of it is a history. Of course, they give it to someone with a speech impediment. So let me see here. On ice archaeological dig, scavenger hunt, ice sculpture trails. A DJ will be playing live music downtown. They'll have ice sculptures throughout downtown. I think we have 10 or 11 of those this year, so more ice sculptures than the past. Also, all the 7 restaurants. There's a local competition on sliders. Tickets are for the slider competition are on sale via Eventbrite. All the other activities are free, which is explained on the social media, but there'll be face painting, Samora stations, demonstration of chainsaw wood carving, and then the premier event this year is the outhouse races. So if you would like to participate in entering your outhouse, there will be races involving that. So other than that, we Also, there will be a request for proposal. The last governmental plan update that's overseen by state legislature is the Downtown Development Association Plan. It's already been approved by this board as well as the council due to the master plan, then the Parks and Rec master plan, and then this zoning that we've now getting a lot of that checked off. So that request for proposal will be publicly distributed on, I think, the 24th, 25th, or 26th of February. And it will come back to this board for a recommendation to the council at your April meeting. And then ultimately award that at the third Monday of April at the council meeting. So that's going to be a 6 to 8 month process, but focused on downtown. And all the governmental plans have been updated in the last 18 months. So that's an answer. Any questions?
What's been our promotion plan for Iceberg Fest? Has there been kind of a general?
We've made probably 7, 8 posts on social media. We've distributed it on email and texting at least once. And we had a half-page or quarter-page, half-page advertisement in the South County February edition.
It's also on there,
So,
online as well.
yeah, and yeah, through the Discover Kalamazoo, I think's covering it and that.
Great. Since this is more managed by the village this year, will we have the tracking capabilities that we do for Berg Days? Thank you.
Yes,
Great.
we have them in place now.
Perfect. Good.
What he's talking about, so people know, we have geofence data that will tell us how many people are visiting in the village, and traffic patterns of where people come from and end up in the village. So that's what the data he's talking about.
Great. All right. Any additional comments? There's no report from the village manager. You've spoken enough tonight. Member comments from the Planning Commission. I will echo village manager sentiment as well as council president sentiment. Appreciate everyone coming out tonight, sharing your comments and your civic duty here. It's great to have that involvement. With no other comments, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:23. Thank you.